Hi, welcome to the Spiritual Converse. This is EJ, your host, and tonight I'll be talking about the misconceptions of tarot cards. Now, for those that aren't into cartomancy or a form of divination using cards, a lot of times people have this idea that it is tied to the occult, that it has reference to spiritual guidance and stuff like that, sorcery, um, things of that nature. And in all honesty, if they knew the history of tarot, they would definitely look at the cards in a whole nother way. Uh, the history, from what I've researched, is that they have the earliest recording of where they believe is the source of where tarot came from, um, around the 1440s, as early as the 1440s or the 1450s. So this would be around maybe right around the time of the 15th century, basically like a medieval time era. Um, they seen some mentions, or they've even had cards, the earliest cards that's been recorded, uh, I guess around Italy, where the cards were used as a form of a game. It wasn't really used for what we use them in modern day for spiritual guidance or, you know, uh, predicting the future, which it doesn't, but I'll get into that much later. Excuse the train again. But yeah, these misconceptions have led to the ignorance of people believing that these cards have, I don't know, magic to them. Because there have been people that believe that they can do things with that, and it's like you really can't. Um, from what it was explaining from the research, that these cards were used as playing cards, and it wasn't until the 19th century that these cards were taken into a different reference of use for spirituality, in a sense, of guidance, spiritual guidance, um, and also for what they call getting into the occult practices, using cards to be as a form of sorcery, which it really isn't. Um, but it does help in one's life's path to make smarter choices. And from what it was also saying, that people have tried to make their own interpretations of how the cards should be used, how they should be uh, shuffled, treated with care, and all this other stuff. Those are just human beings adding to what they're passionate about, just trying to give it some meaning, you know. Other than that, they're just cards, you know. Um, for others, it would be offensive to just say that they're just cards, you know. But in reality, it is a card nonetheless. And there's symbolisms in the cards where people can read a little deeper than what is just shown on the illustration. They can use those symbols to decipher other things, other meanings. Um, they also mention how um, religions have kind of had influence over card making, and it could even be of tarot and of playing cards. Uh, Ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, um, another religious group like people who are into the Kabbalah. Um, what else? They were talking about other use of the I Ching and of, if I remember, for the tantric, those Indic tantra, they used cards. Now, of course, it was different meanings, but they're saying the influence of where it came from for tarot cards came from that idea, which I can see the correlation why it would, you know. Um, but it's interesting how, we are trying to find the origins of where tarot came from. And this is what they have found from its earliest time. So there could be somewhere in the future where they can find it even earlier. So it's all up in the air. But as far as we know of what we discovered, it was as early as maybe 1440s. So during this time, um, they have, what, in the 19th century, they have seen that it was the rider weight deck, sorry, that has stood significance of modern day tarot. And the illustrator Pamela Coleman Smith, she had put a lot of symbolism of the modern cards, and people have like tried to do research on the symbolism in those cards and meanings and stuff like that. um, I've read some online, like through Instagram and stuff like that, that people have researched the modern day deck with those symbolisms and stuff like that. It's very interesting, um, and very detailed too in the illustrations. If you ever take a look at the Rider Waite deck, I think you should look at the artwork on those cards. Um, the author Waite was the one who wanted to revise traditional tarot cards into what is now modern day tarot. Um, what else? Oh, the representation of tarot, right? So usually it will fall under love, money, career, life path. Like, in other words, talking about through the one's journey. And when you look at the cards, they have a detailed human experience going from the fool all the way up to the world, or you know all the cards that you see in the major arcana, which is about 22 of them. you can see the human experience journey through those 22 cards. Now, the other 56 cards, right? They are like depicting of choices, choices, also of, you could say, intention, depicting of intentions, one's intentions or another's, the environment around, things like that. So when they're telling of the story of the cards or the symbolism or the message, basically, it is more in a form of understanding one's life journey and the choices we make. Um, because I had to write some of this down, some of it was researched. Um, I mean, you could agree or disagree with me, but I had my own opinion of tarot to my own understanding. Tarot is tarot is a guidance tool, but I see it as though it does not predict the future, only because the future is ever changing. So depending on your choice, right, the outcome changes. So you can never say, oh, this is fortune telling, because by your choices, things have changed. So it can never be definite. The only thing that's definite is the past. And even in the present moment, it's not as definite because it is your choice that changes the outcome every single time. So, I always tell people that when they are getting a tarot reading, especially from me, to come with an open mind and to understand that it does not predict a future. It won't be definite. They can map out a possible outcome, a possible, but it's not definite. Um, what else have I written down here? It says, oh, because of free will, especially what they speak of in the Bible, because of free will, our choices shape our reality the same way our thoughts can also shape our reality, because our moods put it into intention. So a lot of times, people, they don't understand that the environment around them actually revolves around them. So they often point the finger, but they're not looking at themselves. So if you're reading tarot, this is about you, mainly you. The advice is given to you. So, that's one of the misconceptions. Um, or another misconception, people think that they can predict the time of when a possible outcome can happen. Um, it won't be a possibility, but it can be a guesstimate, because in spirituality, the time is fluid. Time is only a human construct, something that we made to measure how long or how short something or moment is, right? Um, but with spirituality, seeing it as fluid, past, present, and future are all on the same plane. So it's only a matter of time to, the realm of spirituality. It's only a matter of time when things happen. That's it. So, you know, usually when they do readings, sometimes people want to have like an outline or a timeline, I should say, not outline, a timeline of when these things can happen for them, if it's a particular thing that they're waiting for, and stuff like that. And like I said, the cards could try to map out, but it doesn't predict. It will not be a definite thing, because your choices shape your reality at the end of the day. So that's one. Uh, what else? Oh, that's the last, like the perfect one. Uh, a lot of times when readers get reversal cards, right? They're reading the cards. The person who has no idea, they usually feel like the card in the reverse is usually negative, and it's not. They usually mean the opposite of what it might be in the upright, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the outcome is negative, or that the possibility could be a negative one. Um, that's one thing that a lot of people like, you know, that they always automatically think, oh, something's going to happen, or, you know. And, another thing, the tarot cards are associated with astrology. So they tie in together, whereas the 22 major arcana cards have some, no, have all 12 of the zodiac signs in them. Actually, I should say 13, because even some cards have incorporated the 13th sign. And they also tie around the personalities of the zodiacs, which in astrology has to involve the planetary stuff. So it also uses that human experience where they tie in the planetary stuff with the journey, the human's journey. So, or the soul's journey, I should say, the soul's journey. Um, a lot of times, you have people who will tell you that they'll read your fortune, or that they can predict the future. Those are people conning you, because they know damn well that that is not possible. They are not all seeing, all knowing. They play into the all seeing, all knowing, but they're not all seeing, all knowing. You know, um, as far as I know, from me being a tarot reader, uh, tarot can help with life's choices. I wouldn't say it's something to rely on, but I can say that it's it helps to make smarter choices. Uh, and it's almost the same. Well, I can try to make the analogy that instead of going to a shrink or therapist and telling the therapist, well, this is my situation, blase blase, and I need you know some advice. I feel like the cards are a little bit more detailed, where the advice is around the present moment, or can kind of shape out from the past what could be going on in the present moment, because that's what those cards do. Like I said, the future is ever changing, so there's no reason or way for it to say, well, this is the definite future, or this is the definite outcome. It's all by your choice. You are in control of your own life. So, other than that, you know, you can be afraid of the cards, which a lot of people are like They're into, oh, it's a the cold thing that it can read my life, and no. The ignorance is bliss. Like, no. Um, all it can do is just tell you on the playing field, whether it's past, present, or future, where you're headed or what's a possibility. That's about it. Um, but life is beautiful. And, if you're going to get into such thing of cartomancy, okay, if you're going to get into card reading, um, I think you should start where the history comes from. I think you should understand the misconceptions first. This way, you have a greater sense of why the cards are the way they are, or why they set up the way they are. You know, uh, I think it's good to study. I'm still studying them. I think it's a forever study. And does it help with intuition? Maybe. Some people said they have greater insight using their cards for reading a person, and some may not even have to use cards. Sometimes they use it for what they say, just to confirm that what they believe is either right or just, and so they turn to the cards, which is incredible. But otherwise, you know, they are cards, and they were once playing cards. So think about all of that before you go overboard with, oh, this predicts my future, or this is it, this is what it said. Understand that these things have come from somewhere. I'm not saying that you should disrespect the beliefs, or no, I think you should respect them because they have come from somewhere, and from ancient times at that, you know. But I say that sometimes the human brain can take it a little further than it needs to go. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I put together this video piece on the spiritual converse, because this is part of the journey. And many people have turned to the cards for advice. And that's the truth. All right. So, next time on the spiritual converse, tune in. Peace.